Welcome back to Hot Flashes and Cool Topics, guys. Today we are talking about one of our favorite topics, right, Bridget? Sex and
Yeah.
intimacy.
Mhm.
We
Very
love,
important.
yes,
Yes.
we love talking about topics that a lot of women are like, why? Why are we bringing this up? Like, what's happening to our bodies? And for a lot of women who are either in menopause or postmenopause, sex can hurt. And it's not supposed to hurt. So, we're excited to be talking to Amy Buckalter today. She is the CEO and founder of Pulse. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Well, we are so interested in your product. We actually discovered it from her MD, which is it's Comel that we deal with over at her MD, and they were saying how much they love it. So let's start off with the first question. What is Pulse and why was it created?
First, let's start off with why it was created, and then we can talk about what was created. So we're talking about sex not being painful, going through a menopausal time in our life. For me, it just sort of snuck up on me, as it does with most women. We're not prepared. All of a sudden, I was noticing the internal faucets were turning off.
It's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Yes. And I just, where I'd never had a problem lubricating before, all of a sudden it was getting drier and, to your point initially, more painful. And I had no idea what was happening. So off to my gynecologist I go and hear that this is my new normal. Well, no, not going to let that be my new normal. And I really, it was a time of discovery for me, as it is with most women, figuring out what's happening with our bodies. And so her solution for me wanting to be non-hormonal was start using a lot of lubricant. It will really ease the discomfort. So I started using a lot of lubricant, and of course, appalled by this archaic experience. I mean, here you want to be in this natural flow of the moment, and you're pulling out a sticky, dirty, unhygienic tube or bottle. It's cold, buzzkill cold, which is annoying also when we're getting our annual at the doctor's office. And then you start to turn it around and look at the ingredients, and it's like, oh my. So the whole experience to me became a very clinical one versus one that was natural and easy. And as I started to think more and more about every woman going through this cannot be our new normal for those of us that suffer with vaginal dryness. So one day I was thinking, as I was popping my Nespresso capsule into my Nespresso, how elegant and easy and on demand, and I could change my capsules out with whatever I was desiring at the time, and thought, why can't we have something this elegant to accompany us with our lubricant use versus an archaic, sticky, clinical bottle or tube? I still didn't know enough about what I was going through and thought, okay, I want to learn more. I hired a PhD to talk to 300 to 400 women. Woo, that was a PhD in lubricant use. And I learned a lot about what women wanted, what their unmet needs were, what they were disgusted by. And then I became on a mission. Here was like a research kind of backed directional path for me, that there's this huge white space. So let's now move into the solution of Pulse, of what it is. And I'm kind of smiling when I imagine it to sort of an Nespresso in an espresso capsule. That's called a device and consumable platform. Well, that's exactly what we created, a device and consumable platform with an elegant Apple-esque looking modern device that, by the way, has lighting for ambiance, and you can change it to 6 different colors just so it is welcoming and elegant on your bedroom, in your decor. But the magic happens when you take the capsule off your pod, you insert it into your device. I already have one inserted here, warmed up. It will warm the formulation in a very safe way. And I hope we get to have some more conversation around warmed lubricant versus warming lubricants that are very harmful. It's a completely contamination-free system. In fact, we've got over 104 patents and trademarks protecting the contamination-free closed system, the induction safe warming, touchless warm dispensing. And you can take your pods in and out for whichever formulation type you desire. No cleanup, no mess, no cross-contamination.
Wow. How long does a pod last?
Well, that's a
Or
great.
like how many pups?
Well,
yeah.
That was a beautiful pivot, because
Yes.
how long it lasts is really
Up to you.
how much you need or
Yeah.
how many experiences you are having.
Right.
Each pod has 6.7 milliliters. When dispensed via pulse, we have it programmed for 9 ample servings. We've also left 2 servings within it so that you're never caught empty, and you can take your pod out when it says you're empty. And I'll tell you about the magical indicator lights it has, and you can still manually pump. So when you want to take it on the road, if you don't have your pulse with you, and you will love the formulations. We made them all with a naturopathic physician. They are luxurious and really healthy. But when you dispense manually, there will be many more servings because they'll be smaller. We pre-program a larger serving, but there will be about 40 to 45, maybe up to 50, depending on how deep your pump. So one of the other really great consumer helpful areas with our pulse and pulse pods is there is lighting, and it will pulse when it's starting to warm right on this on-off button at the top. When it is fully warmed, the light will go solid, so you know your whole pod is warmed, although your first couple of servings are warmed literally within 90 to 120 seconds. But when you reach your 1 serving left, that white light will turn yellow. And when you've taken the last serving, it'll turn red to indicate time to change out your pod. But as I said, we always leave you a couple of bonus servings in it for emergency.
And it can also be used for massage oil as well.
Oh, we have 2 beautiful lubricants, and we have 2 massage and body oils. One, it's called Spoil Me, and it is made with 6 all-natural plant-based oils. And then we have a complement to this with a broad spectrum, very high quality CBD of 167 milligrams per pod. It's a beautiful blend. Another female founder has added into our recipe. But all the formulations have been tested to be hypoallergenic. No added fragrance. It's unscented unless there's a natural fragrance, like to the plant cellulose in our water-based H2O. No irritating added scents, flavors, any of that. And we only use really premium quality ingredients or medical grade. So not only are we elevating the entire experience with warm and contamination-free and touchless, but also superior, luxurious, and healthy formulations with it. In our pods, by the way, I'm sure you've noticed, this doesn't look like your drugstore lubricant. They look like you've purchased these pods in a spa or at the beauty counter, which is how, by the way, our department store partners That's how they categorize them in the beauty umbrella. And they're all recyclable, the pods. And in fact, we have a program with Pact Collective that you'll see on our website where we're actually paying for you to recycle your pods.
Much
So,
like Nespresso. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like you
exactly.
send those back. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
For those listeners who can't see what we are seeing, the pulse, it kind of looks like I want to say very Apple like you're almost going to charge your phone and get your hand sanitizer out at the same time. It's beautiful and very simplistic. There's not a lot of bells and whistles, which is beautiful. And honestly, I would think if someone had that on their end of the bed, people would be putting their hand under to be like, oh, is that a hand sanitizer? And then get that warming sensation. You have managed to get into some amazing stores and Goop and Nordstrom's and some of the big top stores around the country. Was that a work, or they just kind of welcome the opportunity to have Pulse in their stores?
Well, first of all, hat is off to these retail partners that have had this line of sight and wanting to embrace sexual wellness. And they're led by women, these areas. They put it under the beauty umbrella and the self-care umbrella. Of course, we know Goop's a little bit different because Gwyneth has been embracing and a trailblazer for the sexual wellness category for some time. But Nordstrom, when they decided to step into the category a couple of years ago, they welcomed us in their first assortment of care down there. So they wanted us to be in that assortment. Goop, the same, we got raving reviews from their chief scientist who has to test and approve. And I remember having a dialogue with her and she said, you're not only getting 1 thumbs up, but 2 thumbs up from me on your product. And the same with Bloomingdale's and Saks. These are women-led categories that are modernizing and realizing the importance of intimate care solutions within their self-care and beauty arenas. So it's fantastic. And we love having these partnerships.
I was going to ask about, because I saw the Nordstrom and I saw the articles about Nordstrom and how you can go there and just buy it. And it looks so, do you sell to a lot of spas? Is something I was wondering, just because of the massage element. I feel like I've seen something in there whenever I get a massage where someone's putting their hand under something. So I was curious about that.
The spas are another focus area for us. And whether we decide to partner and sell in with this unit, or based on our patents, we can make a pulse in our pods any size we want. We can build that out. This may be a different commercial opportunity for us to build a much larger unit and a much larger pod. As you can imagine, with our first foray into the intimate care category, we wanted to make sure it was very discreet, sleek, and sexy looking for the bedroom. So, but we can change size to meet any of our use cases and category needs.
And I love that you have a mood lighting on it, which is great for the bedroom as well.
Yeah, well, not glaring. Yeah. Yes.
Nice about this mood lighting, and you can adjust. There's a dimmer. It's very elegant. You just touch the slider. You can make it dimmer or brighter. As I said, you can hold down this button and I know it's hard with the lighting in my office, but it'll elegantly cycle through 6 different colors, and you can take your finger off it, whichever the color of your choosing is. What's been interesting about this as a mood light or a night light is that some couples love to use it for their love language. Many couples don't, or have concerns or speed bumps around their levels of communication when they're in the mood or what they're in the mood for. So they can have their own love language around the color story. So our first color that will drop into the mood light is called Sunrise. In fact, they're all named after places you might like to be intimate. Sunrise, sunset, ocean, meadow. My favorite, candle, no matches needed. And then linen. And so, for instance, one couple's love language around sunrise might be, okay, I'm in for the entire night. Let's get intimate. Another couple's might be, honey, not good tonight. I'm really not in the mood. And so it takes any of the discomfort out of that question.
Out of that whole, just the whole communication thing, which I think kind of leads back to when you said why this came about. It's amazing how so many women don't know about vaginal dryness being an issue when they're going through menopause. I didn't know that until until it happened to me, like it happened to you. And also when we really started researching this, Colleen,
Right.
through menopause, to find out that that is an issue, and that unless you are actively seeking out answers, it's not out there for you to know about.
No. And let's talk about the pulse solution for vaginal dryness, which again, this was all about creating an entire welcoming modern experience, where the real focus for me that led to this was vaginal dryness. And when you are applying a cold lubricant, you're going from a place of discomfort anyhow to now more discomfort, because you're contracting your muscles rather than relaxing your tissues, muscles, other areas. Warmth, just how much we appreciate getting on a massage table with a massage therapist with warm hands versus cold, or a warm shower versus a cold shower, or even a delicious warm creme brulee out of the oven versus a cold one out of the refrigerator. It's soothing and relaxing. And so the warmth, this is by far the number one of the 10 attributes that are built into the Pulse platform. Warmth is a game changer. It relaxes. It just feels great. You welcome it. It makes penetration much easier. In fact, there was a physician focused around menopause who actually had pulses in her clinic. And although this wasn't clinical trial, it was more anecdotal, she could dilate women's vagina canals easier with warm pulse, expanding and relaxing 2 sizes right away. Because of that, just your whole body completely relaxes and welcomes it. Now, the interesting aspect of this is there's a lot of reasons people have vaginal dryness, right? Menopause is one. It could be different kinds of hormonal changes. It could be they're on certain medications that cause vaginal dryness. They could have gone through cancer therapies causing vaginal dryness. It could be what all of us have all the time, stress in our lives, which causes vaginal dryness. We are seeing now where Pulse had been created for us, women of a certain age. We now have 70% of our purchasers are between the ages of 20 and 50.
Wow.
Really?
50% above, but 70 because of just the desire for the warmth, the cleanliness, the ease of access, and the beauty of it in terms of the entire contribution to intimacy. We also have a gender spectrum of almost 50-50, actually a little bit higher for men now that are purchasing our product. 54% are men. And I truly believe that they are drawn to a solution with their female partners if going through a challenge with vaginal dryness. if it's a female partner, he wants her to be comfortable. And guess what, guys? If she's more comfortable, you're having better intimacy and more sex. So it's good for everybody.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it
win-win
is.
proposition. And
It is.
honestly, in saying that the demographic is anywhere between 20 and 50 for the majority of purchases, I wish there was something like that when I was pregnant. The gels for the ultrasounds, when they would check you to see if you were dilated, all the 4,000 exams you have to go through when you're pregnant. That would have been a great option to have.
And I love that you just may have led me into another discussion area, because as we have built and developed our intellectual property portfolio, it became very clear the benefits that the Pulse platform provides to all of us with intimate care formulations of lubricants and massage oils. What a great advantage and benefit for mommies and daddies with baby care, with men's grooming, skin care, wound care, any formulation that is in a liquid, which would be a gel, oil, lotion, cream, any fluid. Wouldn't the human experience benefit from having it be warm, contamination-free, accessible, and no cross-contamination changing pods or messy cleanup? All of those. So we have a whole line of sight on other categories that we'll be moving into, but we certainly wanted to start with one that was exploding and had a complete white space for a need for all of us that want a better, intimate experience.
Can you share something about the water-based lubricants versus the silicone-based ones?
Love to. So first of all, when we were creating Pulse, the whole platform, we didn't know that what we were going to do for our formulations. Were we going to private label somebody's that we thought made the best in class? Were we going to have kind of a Keurig model instead of an espresso, where we would invite in all these lubricant brands to pod their formulas and have a delivery platform? And one of the advisors on our board is a naturopathic physician, over 2 decades of experience, focused in female wellness. And as we started to explore the market, we were like, there is nothing out here that can provide as elevated experience as what Pulse will deliver with all the other benefits. So we decided to go through the long, expensive, and laborious process of making and developing our own formulas, because they have to be FDA cleared, and that's a whole nother expense, and with a whole journey through bureaucracy. That could be a whole nother discussion. With that said, let's get back to your question, the water-based H2O. This has no harsh preservatives, no harmful chemicals. It went through 137 iterations for us to make this formula, because as we started to test them, we noticed, even though this was an all-natural preparation, it still was causing some, we would be testing them on people's arms in our engineering meetings. And people would gather over the course of an hour, these red rings, and we didn't know, what's that from? Well, it turns out they were from the gels that are in most water-based lubricants, but they cause drying. So it was hydrating the skin. So we stripped out all the dehydrating gels, and we added an ingredient which no other brand on the planet uses. Thank you, Dr. Cindy, our naturopath. It's pure chia extract from organic chia seeds. So the psyllium that's in the middle of the seed, we extract it. Just like when you have it in your shakes or whatever, it's very hydrating. And it's very silky. So that, with a blend of plant cellulose and some other natural ingredients, really provides a magical formula for a water base. It's not drying. It's not sticky. And part of its magic is you can add saliva or water to it, and it will rehydrate itself. So it really is magical. Our silicone base, and by the way, water bases, in case your audience doesn't know, water bases will absorb into your tissues, which is why, for instance, the FDA has us do a variety of tests, like one called osmolality, which is how hydrating it allows your cells to be once it absorbs. And World Health Organization marks that number at 380 that is matched with your level of your natural lubrication. Ours is better than optimal. Lower is better. We're at 301. So again, part of the magical property of pure chia extract. Our silicone is a medical grade silicone. Silicones ride on your tissues. They don't absorb in. And ours is blended with aloe and vitamin E. So why we like to say our water base is extremely hydrating and soothing, our silicone base is extremely cushioning and healing at the same time. And for those of us like me that are not lubricating on my own anymore, and for those that are lubricating on their own, you know, H2O is a great helper for it. But when you're postmenopausally dry, best friend here, aloe. Just delightful.
How many different pods are there?
There are 4 different pods, 4 different formulations. 2 are the lubricants, and that is the H2O, our natural water base, aloe, our medical grade silicone base, our Spoil Me, our blend of 6 all natural plant oils, the massage oil, and then our Spoil Me plus CBD that has the little extra calming element for it. We are right now exploring one other sexual wellness formulation. And we are also beginning to explore and experiment with some baby and mommy care formulations.
That'll be, yeah.
Yeah, that really
yeah,
it's endless. I mean,
It
really,
is.
the
Just having the
potential
warmth.
is endless. We're going to make sure that our listeners have all of the links in the show notes. Your website is lovemypulse.com.
Correct.
And if they have any questions, they can go to the website.
Absolutely. They can go to the website. There'll be lots of information there. I am always available to talk to our customers or anybody of interest. You can reach me at amy@lovemypulse.com. And I'm always delighted to share information, give feedback, answer questions, or add a little extra education to the process of us learning more about the journey we're going through.
Well, thank you so much, Amy, for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Well, this was an absolute pleasure. Colleen, Bridget, thank you so much. And we look forward to entertaining some of your audience with our fabulous products. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.